I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking a closer look at The Punisher, issue number 224. Frank Castle may be back in his old haunts in New York City, but he's bringing the War Machine armor with him, and he's ready to make some plays. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop on in together and find out, shall we? So, as we begin this comic, we get to visit the bar with no name. Yeah, I know Chip Zdarsky technically gave it a name, but no name is cooler. Apparently, the bar has been seeing a downturn in business. No, it's not the bad economy, and no, it's not because Westworld is on. It's because everyone's afraid to go outside, what with the Punisher running around with his own Iron Man suit. The D and Z list villains that make up the front room of the bad guy bar say, meh, you know what, even the Punisher, as crazy as he is, would never come rolling up in here, would he? He then thusly runs up in there. Most of these guys couldn't tangle with the Punisher when he didn't have a suit, and now that he has his own robot suit, it's like murdering fish in a barrel. Very easy. Of course, the Punisher doesn't just want D-list losers like Steeljaw. No. He set his aspirations much higher, what with having toppled a corrupt government in the last arc. He wants big-name villains like Bullseye, the Rhino, and Scourge. Is Scourge technically a big-name villain? I mean, he's at least a B-plus player. And Frank would have gotten away with murdering all of these costumed criminals too if it wasn't for the late intervention of Captain Marvel Carol Danvers. You'll recall she was in love with Rhodes, the man who owned that armor before Frank. She sees what the Punisher is doing as a gross corruption of the War Machine name and Rhodes' legacy, and I mean, she's not exactly wrong. It doesn't exactly send a good message to the rest of the superhero community when you're running around using a dead guy's toys. Frank fires back by saying, hey Captain Marvel, I've never actually been part of your little superhero club, so don't hold me to those standards. Second of all, I don't do the whole hero versus hero thing, even though you seem to be a big fan of it, so I'm just gonna leave now. And if you want the War Machine armor, well, you're going to have to kill me for it. Which, I mean, shouldn't be a problem for you because you almost killed Iron Man in Civil War 2, but you just ended up putting him in a coma. Captain Marvel scoffs at the idea of the Punisher, a mad dog killer, actually trying to take the moral high ground, especially after backing Hydra during Secret Empire. Thank you, Matthew Rosenberg, for actually acknowledging this fact and not just beating around the bush about it. Frank has no answer for that either. He just shoots Captain Marvel in the face and runs away. But hey, their fight was so big and so loud it's alerted all the other heroes of New York. Daredevil comes to Frank Castle next. Hey, occasional buddy, occasional enemy, you wanna maybe stop what you're doing, turn yourself in? We also find out that Nick Fury is coordinating all the different heroes to go after Frank after him breaking ties with him in the previous arc. Makes me think that Frank should really just out Nick Fury and say, yeah, I have the armor, he gave it to me. Frank manages to give Hornhead the slip. Next up to try and take a swing at him is actually Clint Barton Hawkeye. Frank does something truly unexcusable to the Archer. He steals his pizza. I joke about Hawkeye, of course, but at the end of the day, he actually ended up being the most useful in this fight. He remembered to actually tag the Punisher so the rest of the heroes could follow him back to his base of operations. The War Machine suit has also taken a major beating in the fight with Captain Marvel, and now that it seems that the rest of the Avengers are ready to try and take it from Frank's cold dead hands, it might not last much longer as the comic ends. So that was The Punisher, everybody, and I'm glad to say that Matthew Rosenberg continues to craft a story that goes to, well, I think the only conclusion it could go to when the Punisher gets his own murder suit. I also appreciate the story not being afraid to shy away from the inherent hypocrisy of most of the superheroes of New York. Oh sure, you had no problem with the Punisher's crusade on crime when his aspirations were nice and low, but now that he's toppling governments and killing all your regular rogues gallery members, ooh, now you have a problem. I said it before and I'll say it again too, I also applaud Rosenberg for not being afraid to address the controversial events of Secret Empire and Civil War 2, while so many other writers just kind of stick their fingers in their ear and pretend it doesn't exist. This story actually feels fuller and more complete because of it. Overall, I'd give this one a 7.5 out of 10, a really fun, breezy read. So that was The Punisher, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, be sure to take a closer look at some of these other videos I've been working on. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you always know what I got coming out next. And hey, if you like what I do and are feeling a supportive mood, please check out my Patreon link down in the description. Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and you can do so for as little as $1 a month. And so until next time, everyone, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye-bye.